الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله
عدد خلقه ورضا نفسه وزنة عرشه ومداد كلماته ومنتهى علمه وجميع ما شاء وخلق وبرأ عالم الغيب وشهادة الرحمن الرحيم الملك القدوس العزيز الحكيم أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وسلم أرسله بالهدى ودين الحق ليظهره على الدين كله ولو كره المشركون أما بعد فيقول الله تعالى في القرآن الكريم ومن الناس من يشري ابتغاء نفسه ومن الناس من يشري نفسه ابتغاء مرضات الله والله رؤوف بالعباد الحمد لله Rabbil Alameen. We are grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the blessing of completing more than half of the month of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, we're in the 19th day of Shahr Ramadan. The 19th, we're about to enter the last 10 days, the last third of the month of Ramadan. And what you need to do, you and I, what we need to do is, even though we have been doing mujahada, we have been struggling with ourselves and increasing in our ibadah, in our worship. What we need to do for ourselves is not to get weak, not to conk out. This is not the time for that. If you conk out, you will lose. And the only one that will be hurt by your loss is you. I remember when I was younger, watching this movie. It was a gang movie. And all of the gangs of the city were trying to catch up to this one gang. And I see some of you smirking because you know what movie it is. I'm not going to mention it in the cookbook. It's not important. But you can see by the imagery that if someone was chasing you with the desire to take your life, it would not benefit you to conk out. And if this was your situation, trust me, you wouldn't get tired. You wouldn't be like, man, listen, I just need to take a break. Never mind all them guns, bats and sticks and stuff that's behind me. I'm just going to take a break because I'm tired. And the only people that do that type of thing in this worldly life and that type of situation is one that doesn't know the reality of what's chasing them. Maybe the person's not from the street. Maybe they think that when they catch up to them, that they're going to have mercy on them. They're going to understand that you made a mistake. No. This is like the animal kingdom. You think when wild animals fight each other that they have, ah, man, you out of breath. I know you ain't really want it like that. I'm not going to eat you. Just go ahead. It don't work like that. The month of Ramadan is the same way. Except the only thing that wants to destroy us is us, our nafs. Our nafs wants to relax and kick back. Our nafs wants to overeat. Our nafs wants to be stingy. Our nafs wants to go home and watch whatever's on TV during the most Mubarak month of the year. It's our nafs that wants to do that. It's not our intellect. It's not a purified heart. It's the nafs that's commanding to evil that wants us to do these things. So in the month of Ramadan, let me give you some advice. Let me give you another story, a real life story. I'm going to tell you how the mind works. Long time ago, galaxy far, far away, your brother was in Jahiliyyah. And he was in the wrong part of town. Jahiliyyah, state of ignorance, non-Muslim. And his mouth almost got him into some beef on the wrong side of town. And one of the things that saved us was there was no fear displayed. Literally, we were surrounded in the hood. A hood far, far away. No friends, no allies. You know, when they surrounded us, one of my so-called friends saw it happen and then backed up and acted like he wasn't with us. And after the whole thing was finished and squashed, everybody shook hands, no, it's cool, it's all right. My so-called friend slipped back in. He didn't know I saw him. So as we're walking away, who has the most fear? Him. Yo, I think that's one of them right there. They following us. Hey, yo, that's one of them right there. And some people that was with us at first wasn't paying attention to him. But he kept saying it over and over and over again until some people that were with us inherited his fear. Yo, let's get out of here, man. Y'all don't feel comfortable no more. Because you keep hearing something, it begins to affect you. Why do you think we're commanded to do dhikr Allah? To remember Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because those words will affect your mind and affect your heart. So likewise with this month of Ramadan, don't talk that talk. Oh, I'm so tired. Oh, I don't know if I can do it anymore. Oh, sleep deprivation. No, that's the way you feel. We understand that. We all going through it. But don't talk it. Stand tall stand tall and just take it. Because your words are having an effect on someone that's weaker than you. They may perceive you as someone being strong, and you here crying, oh, it's so hard, the days are so long, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Oh man, talk to me again. Oh, I can't do it. The one that's listening to you is like, that's the way he feels, sure. Reggie, how I feel, man. I'm going home to watch movies. I'm going to turn on sports. So don't articulate that type of thing. You're giving people that are weaker an excuse to do what their nafs wants them to do. And it's only going to bring about their own destruction because they have to make it to next Ramadan. Allah put barakah in this month for a reason. Allah puts barakah, blessings, in the time period. And when Allah gives you a blessing, you have to use it while you have it. Because if you don't use it, you will lose it. You will lose it. And once you lose it, it's not guaranteed that Allah will give it back to you. When you have a blessing and you fail to use it, and many times we don't realize it until it's taken away from us. Think about that. How many times have you had a blessing? I'm trying to talk to you in real language to show you the reality of the way we act when we get a blessing. Have any of you been married? After a long time being single, as soon as you get married, you think it's cool to complain about your wife in front of the brothers? Oh man, my wife. Oh man, an old lady. You know, that's the older folks, the old lady. Oh man, can't live with him, can't live without him. You know how we talk? And then we get single. You man, think you got any good sisters? Man, you get lonely at night, man. Allah took it from you. And you didn't, and then after the fact, all that time you were complaining, you were manifesting your ingratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now you'll finally get divorced, and then you all lonely, hugging your pillow at night, and you thinking, man, she wasn't that bad after all. Looking at that number in your cell phone. You didn't realize what you had until Allah took it from you. But you don't, most of us don't reflect. You were complaining the whole time. She didn't do this right. She didn't do that right. She talks like this. She says like this. This is the way a lot of us are treating the month of Ramadan. Complaining. Allah gave you a time period with some blessings in it. He gave you a time period with blessings in it. Everything that you do during this month, that's good. You get more reward for it than you do outside of the month. These are things we know we take for granted. We get in the month, and what do? Complain. Oh, I'm tired. Sleep deprivation. Oh, well, my sleep schedule was off. Oh man, it's rough. Watch out. You can leave this month of Ramadan and hardly get no blessings out of it, and you may not live long enough to make it to next Ramadan. Allah may take your soul before next Ramadan comes. Allah can give you a chronic illness where you can't fast. You have to take medicine during the day. And then you'll be complaining about that. Oh man, I wish I could fast. Talk to brothers and sisters that have chronic illnesses. Oh man, I wish I could fast, man, but I gotta take this medicine or I'm gonna be back in the hospital or worse. But you have the ability to fast, and most of us are doing it barely and complaining the whole way. Be grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Walhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, wa afdalu salat wa atamu tasneem ala Sayyidina Muhammadin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'een, wa radiyallahu ta'ala ala sadat al-tabi'een, wa ulama al-amalin, wa ahimatu al-arbat al-mujtahideen, wa muqalidihim ila yawmiddin. Amma ba'd. I want to take the few minutes that we have left and get a lesson from an event that took place that we can use in this life. See, one of the things that we learn about the Prophet ﷺ, as it was taught to us by his cousin Abdullah ibn Abbas, may Allah be pleased with both him and his father. He said that Ibn Abbas is saying that the Prophet ﷺ was ajwadun nas. He was the most generous of people. And then when the month of Ramadan came, he would increase in his generosity. Because Angel Jibril would come to him every night and they would recite the Quran to each other every night for the month of Ramadan. See, this reading of the Quran that we do during the month of Ramadan, this is a sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. Jibril would recite the Quran that had been revealed up until that time, and the Prophet ﷺ would recite it back to Angel Jibril every night during the month of Ramadan. He told his daughter Fatima, the Prophet ﷺ told his daughter Fatima secretly, and she later told Aisha, may Allah be pleased with her. He told his daughter Fatima alayhi salam, he said, Angel Jibril came to me twice this year. This is in the 10th year of Hijrah. He says, this is a sign to me that I won't make it to next Ramadan. This is what he told his daughter Fatima. He was the most generous of mankind. And he was even more generous during the month of Ramadan. One of the things, if any of you have ever studied under a classically trained traditional scholar, now no scholar is a general word, but a person connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of the things that you will observe about them is that whenever they do a good deed, that's benefiting them. Maybe they may make a salat, maybe they may break their fast, maybe they may make dua for you, maybe they may do some good deed for you. They're doing it for them, really. Many times they give sadaqah for the blessing, the tawfiq, to be able to do that good deed. Because they could have been wretched, where Allah wouldn't have given them the tawfiq to do that good deed. They could have been doing something foul and got punished for it. But Allah blessed them to be able to do something for good for themselves and for the ummah, for the Muslim community. And they are most grateful for that, and they give sadaqah out of gratitude to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Khayru qurun qarni, or khayru ummati qarni, thumma ladina yalunahum, thumma ladina yalunahum." The best of people, or the best of generations, is my generation. And then the generation that follows them, and then the generation that follows them. Right? The first 3 generations of Islam. When you zoom in on the Sahaba, you will see that they were the exact same way. See, a lot of times, we want things in life. We want more money, we want contentment, peace of mind, we want, a beautiful wife. We want not only a beautiful wife, but a noble woman. We want a woman to, submit to us and treat us like a man. There's blueprints and patterns to everything that you want. Wallah. There's blueprints and patterns to everything that you want. If you have the blueprint, all you have to do is study it, embody its principles, and act accordingly. And you will get what they got. We were just reading Surah Number last night in Taraweeh. And I was reflecting as we was reading the story of Sulaiman, alayhi salam, and Bilqis, Makeda, the queen of Sheba. And as we were reading, this is a woman of power. She controls a country. He's a prophet of power. He got ants, animals, birds, jinns at his command. Read that story again and see how he interacted with her. And her, with all her power, read how she responded to him. He wasn't overcompensating. You know, that tell you I was a prophet. That tell you I'm deep about this piece. This is my hood. I get jinns, birds, everything. I got a bird check you out. Who he check you out? I know about you. I got all this money. These ants were scared that I was going to step on them when I understood their speech. You can't mess with him. He wasn't overcompensating like that. He dealt with her with majesty. And commanded her to submit to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the reality of the situation manifested itself. She submitted to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and she became a Muslim. And that became his wife. There's a blueprint for everything. You know, when the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam made hijrah, he made hijrah, migration from Mecca to Medina. You know the Quraysh had a bounty on his head. They had a contract. He was wanted, dead or alive. Emphasis on dead. You remember the old Western days. Wanted picture. It was said wanted, dead or alive. And we'll take them however you bring them back to us. And sometimes they will cross out the word alive, meaning you can bring them back, but if you bring them back dead, that's even better for us. They had 100 camels on the head of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and on Abu Bakr Siddiq. One of the things that a lot of people don't mention is that, and I'm not talking about their guide who was guiding them, there were supposed to be 3 of them. Their plan, it was supposed to be 3 of them that made the hijrah. Not only the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, not only Abu Bakr, but Suhaib al-Rumi was supposed to go with them. Suhaib bin Sinan, Suhaib al-Rumi was supposed to make the hijrah with them. That was their plan. But Allah had a bigger plan. When it was time to leave, the Quraysh was on him. They would not let him leave. So Suhaib, detained in Mecca, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu ta'ala anhu, they had already left. Suhaib escapes. The Quraysh are on him. They're tracking him. And before he knew it, they're in the middle of the desert. He turns around, they're right there. So he said, oh man. So he set up his spot. Now, you got to understand his history. He comes from a poor background, but Allah blessed him to get wealth in Mecca. So he came to Mecca. He's not originally from Mecca. But he came to Mecca and he did business, and he even had slaves and servants. And he had a lot of wealth. And it's not like nowadays, if you have money, it's just a bunch of zeros and ones, right? On a bank account, on a cloud, or on a computer somewhere. And then if you need hardcore cash, you can go to a machine or to a building and they'll check your numbers for you and give you hardcore cash. It wasn't like that. Wealth was tangible. So when it was time for him to make hijrah, he buried his wealth in Mecca secretly. Made that come back and get it. And so now he's in this situation, he's in the middle of the desert. And he posted up. And he said, Ya Ma'shar al-Quraysh, O assembly of the Quraysh, you done caught me. know you. And you know that I'm the best archer among you. And I swear by Allah, if you come at me, I will shoot every arrow at you. And you know I won't miss. You know how I get down. Translate to modern days, you know I'll bust my gun. Don't sleep. I will pluck every one of you. Back up. This is what he's telling them. I don't miss. And it's a, y'all, it's a lot of y'all deep. Eventually I'm going to run out of arrows. Then I'm going to pull out my sword. And I'm going to fight as long as I can. But you know what? We can avoid all of this. This is Suhaib talking to the Quraysh. He said we can avoid all of this. He said, man, listen, man. You just going to leave like that? You was nothing when you came to us. Now you got rich off us. Now you got down with this Muhammad. Now you going to leave? He said, listen. It don't even have to be like that. You know, I left my wealth in Mecca. I hid it. If you let me go, don't bother me, don't harass me, I will tell you where I hid my wealth at. And they agreed to it. No verification or nothing. No, stay right here, we go check it out. No. They just agreed to it. And then they let him go. And when he got outside of Mecca, in a place called Quba, you know the history of the seerah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You know he stayed for several days in Quba, outside of Medina, and established a masjid there. Well, when he caught up with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in Quba, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam told him, Rabbi al-Bay'u, ya Aba Yahya. Rabbi al-Bay'u, Aba Yahya. His kunya, his nickname was Abu Yahya. The Prophet ﷺ told him without even a conversation, your business deal was successful, O Abu Yahya. Your business deal was successful, O Abu Yahya. Allah had informed the Prophet ﷺ what he did in the desert. And then because of that, Allah revealed Surah Al-Baqarah, verse number 207. وَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَشْرِي نَفْسَهُ ابْتِغَاءَ مَرْضَاتِ اللَّهِ وَاللَّهُ رَءُوفٌ بِالْعِبَادِ. There is among mankind, there's a type of person among mankind who will sell himself for the pleasure of Allah. And Allah is compassionate to his servants. Allah revealed that verse because of him. Now, among mankind, there's a type of person who will sell himself in a business transaction. He will sell himself for the pleasure of Allah. And Allah is all compassionate to his servants. Allahu Akbar. There's a pattern to this thing. A lot of us want to do something good for Allah. A lot of us want to leave a legacy. We want Allah to be pleased with us. We want to leave something behind for our children. We want to, even though we struggle, all of us, we range the spectrum. We're all over the place. But we good people. We want to do what's right. There's a blueprint, there's a pattern for that. There's a blueprint and there's a pattern. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and the Sahaba radiallahu ta'ala ajma'in, may Allah be pleased with all of them, they showed us the way. One of the ingredients of this success, one of the ingredients of leaving a legacy, of getting Allah's pleasure, is spending. See, the opposite is also true. In Surah Tawbah, Surah 9, Allah tells us that al-munafiqun wal-munafiqat ba'duhum awliya'u ba'd. The hypocrite men and women, they're friends and protectors of each other. Ya'muruna bil munkar wa yanhauna 'anil ma'ruf. They enjoy what is wrong, forbid what is right. The opposite of a believer. They do ID him and they hold their hands, they're real stingy. That's the characteristic of a hypocrite, stingy. You don't want to spend at all. Stingy. Anytime you have a good notion to spend for the sake of Allah, there's 10 reasons why you can't spend. And shaitan gets you every time you put your money back. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. You will never reach righteousness. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. Until you spend from that which you love. We have some Arabs amongst us. They will tell you that the difference between la and len abada. Never, ever. Allah could have said, la tanalu. You will not reach. And that's how a lot of people wrongly translate it. But Allah says, len tanalu birra. You will never reach taqwa, righteousness. It is impossible. You can't do it. Len tanalu birra. You will never reach righteousness. You can't do it. This is one ingredient that you can't leave out of the mix, out of the recipe. If you want to bake the cake of bitter righteousness, one ingredient that you have to have is this right here. لَن تَنَالُوا الْبِرَّ حَتَّى تُنْفِقُوا. Until you spend مِمَّا تُحِبُّونَ. Until you spend from that which you love. You have to spend. You're not going to be righteous until you spend from that which you love. You can't spend from that which you don't care about anyway. When your clothes gets bad, you haven't worn that outfit in 2 years, so you didn't donate it to Sadaqah. You don't love that. That was trash to you. So you just gave it to someone. You have to spend from that which you love. Look at Suhaib al-Rumi. He accumulated all that money over the years in Mecca. Had slaves and servants. But he loved Allah more. So he gave it all away. That's part of the blueprint, the recipe for achieving what we need to achieve during this month. We have to spend from that which we love. And may Allah make us from one of them. May Allah make us generous in His cause. May Allah purify our hearts. May Allah give us the best that we can get out of this month and not conk out. ربنا اتنا في الدنيا حسنة